Hello, my friends on YouTube. I hope the sound is better this time because few people complained that the sound was not very good last time. Okay, today's video is to respond to one Muslim uh, person. He was commenting, and I promised him that I will make a video to respond to his claims. He is a Muslim. His name is Abdul Rahim. And he was asking a question because I made a video before that Islam has collapsed. So he's wondering, his question is legitimate because there is at least 1.5 billion Muslim in the world. So his question, or rather his first question, uh, Ayad, when did Islam collapse? And three question marks. Okay, I tell you when. It collapsed before it started. Why? I tell you why. Because Muhammad stole his message, or whatever that it is in Quran, if you want to call it message, from the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the legends of the time. Also some of the poets, the famous poets that lived in Arabia just before his coming. And there is a book written by one very well-known, I'm sure you know him, one very well-known Egyptian writer. His name is Taha Hussein. You can buy that book. It's called Asatir al-Awwalin, which it means the legends of the people before Muhammad. And in this book, he explains clearly, very clearly, that Muhammad took lines by lines from these poets and he put it exactly the same in Quran. And nobody can tell me, oh, that these poets, they are the ones who stole from Quran. No, these people were before Muhammad and before Quran. Okay, so let's put things in the proper order. Okay, and that's not only one poet. Muhammad stole from a few very famous poet lived before his coming. Okay, that's the first question you ask. And then you are giving me that, we call it composition stuff, stuff that as we are in elementary school, they teach us how to compose a subject. That's what you are doing here. I'm sorry, but that's, listen. Islam is the only way which teaches one God, one book, the Quran, one creed. One book and one Quran is the same. One creed, it's in the book, the Islam. Okay. Anyway, there is no God but Allah, and Prophet Muhammad is his final. He's the final messenger of Allah. First of all, to call him a prophet, could you first define what a prophet is and what is his prophecy? What did he prophesy? Second, you say he is a messenger. To steal from other people's message does not make me a messenger. If I steal something from Buddhism and claim it to myself, and I say I'm a messenger, I'm a false messenger. Okay? What is the message? Other, if you take away all the things that he stole from the Old Testament and the New Testament and from the poets and the legends, he has nothing. He was repeating what he was hearing because he was a merchant, and the merchants were traveling overseas in different countries, and there was no TV, hotel room with TV and jacuzzi to sit and relax and listen to the news. No, they used to sit around the fire at the end of the day, and everybody used to tell a story. Some were religious stories, some were legends, just to kill sometimes before they go to bed. He thought these are all revelations from God. All right? That does not make him a messenger. You have to define what a messenger is, what a prophet is, and what did he prophesy, and what was his message. Don't just give me that composition, elementary school stuff. I'm sorry. Now, one direction facing the Kaaba, the focal point of worship. Really? You serious? Okay. Do you know, Mr. Abdurrahim, that there used to be 22 Kaaba in Arabia before the coming of Muhammad? Not only one, 22. All right, Google it. Study before you talk. That's number one. Number two, Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. I cannot remember exactly the year, but between either year 1914 or the year 1919, within this span of time, he destroyed another Kaaba, was in the north of Mecca, in a place called the Ta'if. He destroyed this Kaaba. There used to be two until 1919. Okay, it's about 100 years ago, huh? Not so long. And the others, they decayed by time. One direction. And by the way, Muhammad, when he started, he was trying to win the Jews to his side. So when he started, he and his early followers, they used to pray facing Jerusalem, not Mecca, not Kaaba, nothing like that. Because Kaaba was actually for idol worshipper, because there were Jews and Christians who lived in Arabia before the coming of Muhammad. And these two sects, the Jews and the Christians, had nothing to do with Kaaba, had nothing to do with the 360 other statues that they were around Kaaba, because these were for idol worshippers, not for the Christian, not for the Jews. It was for the people who worshipped idols. Muhammad was one of them, by the way. His father also was one of them. Okay? Kaaba, the focal point. This because we learned that Abraham came, the very old man, came from the land of Canaan. Even a very old man to travel these days by plane is so dangerous. You tell me that Abraham walked in a very advanced age to that hellhole, as hot as hell. I think the temperature gets there to 500 degrees centigrade. Anyway, to go to help his son to build that stone building, God couldn't find a better place to dwell in. What's wrong with the Bahamas? Huh? Okay. Anyway. Okay. The rest of the composition. The focal point of worship. Okay. Signifying one God. The Jews believe in one God, by the way. You didn't bring anything new. And even the Christian. I don't want to mention the Christian because you will start to say, oh, they have three gods. Okay. But even the Christian, they believe in one God. But put the Christian aside because I don't want to take time. The Jews, before the Christian and before the Muslim, they believed in the one God. What is new? What is new? He didn't bring anything new. Okay. Also, equality of mankind. Islam brought equality. Equality, for your information, never existed in human history. Communism most recently spoke of equality. Did they succeed? No. No. Why? Because people have different brain capacity. Some people are good for labor. They cannot manage companies, for example. Okay? There is no equality. Okay, a CEO of a company will not be paid as a person who just started doing bookkeeping or something beginner will do. There's no equality. According to your whatever you are accomplishing, even if you open a business, even if you open a grocery store, if you meet the demand of your customer, you will be getting more. Okay, you are not stealing, but you are making more. There is no equality. According to your work, you will receive. That's not equality. Equality is everybody can get like $200 or $500 or $10,000 a month. Huh? No equality. That's terrible system. If this really what Muhammad brought, like socialism and communism, is a failing system. Never succeeded. All right? Muslim Brotherhood. I'm sorry, let me go up a little bit. Yeah, equality of mankind, that we are all one ummah like one nation. It's an Arabic word. Single brotherhood. Are the Muslim one ummah? Are you fooling me or what? Are the Muslim one ummah, one nation? Are they? Right after the death of Muhammad, the Sunni and the Shia started murdering, slaughtering each other. Is that does that indicate that this ummah or this group of people is one in heart or divided in heart? What do you think? Don't give me composition, okay? Give me something to something tangible. One ummah, one brotherhood, huh? In the sight of Allah, standing single or like in the mosque. They think because they stand straight, single or like the heart also would be united. The most divided people are the Muslim. Yeah, you can stand straight line. That looks nice. But really, most divided people are the Muslim. And I'm not saying that to you to upset you, but it's reality. Okay? Is Saudi Arabia and Iran one ummah? What about Iraq and Iran? And that can go on and on and on. Okay. Uh-huh. We stand one line, shoulder to shoulder, regardless of whoever we, or regardless of whoever we are. Okay, the poor and the rich, the king and the. I'm sorry, I can't see that. I'm reading from my phone. Okay, but anyway, the king and probably one of his subjects or one of the uh, people of the kingdom all stand line side by side. Really? When did that exist? Where does it exist? Anyway, the black and the white, the brown and the yellow, without race, color, together facing God. Really? Muhammad used to brag of his whiteness, Mr. Abdurrahim, and he used to be sarcastic towards black. I don't know if you know that. One of his uh, workers was a slave, he used to carry everything, Ethiopian slave, and he used to call him ship, Safina, ship, because he used to carry a lot. Huh? Facing God, merciful, loving, men and women, Really? Muslims are loving? Really? The most atrocity that it happens in the world are done by Muslims. Chopping the heads, huh? Rape, raping women, huh? Recently, I spoke about the young boy in Saudi Arabia, the one boy in a taxi driver took because the woman and her son were Shia and the taxi driver was Sunni in Saudi Arabia, took him by force out of his own mother in public, and she was screaming her head off to get some help. He broke a piece of glass from his car and he slaughtered the boy in front of his mother and in front of all the Muslims around. Muslim Brotherhood, you are living in a dreamland. You are fooling yourself, facing God, the merciful men and women. Okay, well, judge will all be judged equally based on the righteousness and good deeds. Really? Okay, let me ask you here. If I am a Muslim and I'm doing good deeds, okay, there has to be a measure for God to measure me against that measure. So it will be the best man, the best ideal, the ideal man, the one who gets score 100%. That will be the alpha, the boss on top. Everyone else will be measured in accordance with that person. So some people will score 50%, some will score 70, maybe some will score exactly like him. I want you to tell me, who is that man that God will say, according to this perfected man, every human being will be measured. His deed or her deeds will be measured according to that measurement. Let's say this perfected man made it like 3 meters high. Okay, if I make it 1.5 meters, then I did half of his accomplishment. If I make 2 meters, I make 2/3 of his accomplishment. We have a measure here, a measurement. Who is that person that God will use as a measurement? I'm sure you will tell me Muhammad. I'll tell you, are you serious? Muhammad, the man who stole, the man who raped, the man who committed adultery, the man who looted, the man who what else he didn't like the 10 commandments of Moses. He broke them all. Don't kill, he killed. Actually, it says the proper translation is not don't kill, I'm sorry, it's don't murder. He murdered with his own hand. He has his hand is stained with blood. He killed with his own hand. He assassinated anyone who stood against him. He assassinated him. He sent a group of ISIS of his time. They slaughtered people. He killed men and he assassinated men and women. And one of them was very old woman, by the way, very old grandma. He divided her in halves. Qirfa. He tied one leg in one camel, the other leg in another camel. They made the camel run in opposite direction. She was split in half. Okay? He ordered to slaughter a whole tribe after they didn't want to fight with him or against him. But because they didn't fight with him, they became his enemy. He had to kill them. He slaughtered them all. All the men. He sold the boys in the slave market, and He raped the daughter of the head of the tribe after he murdered her husband, her father, her brother-in-law, and all of the men of her tribe. He raped her on the way home before the blood dried up. Okay? And he divided the women of the tribe for his army to have sexual relationship with them against their wish. Is that the measurement that you want to use? Ah, please think, think. Not just you, all Muslims. Think. If this man was a man of God, then God is a terrorist. I'm sorry. That is, uh, if this is the example you want me to be measured against, no, thank you. Do you want to be measured against this is the mafia. The mafia have more heart than this. Okay? You want me to be measured against this person? I'm sorry. Please think. All Muslim. Thank you very much. We see you again.